What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So today I'm going to be talking about why men, real men, whatever you want to call it, shouldn't argue with anyone. Shouldn't argue with anyone. I did a video like this, a few years back about why men shouldn't argue with women, but men, you shouldn't argue at all. Because any man who's solid and firm in his convictions and beliefs at the end of the day has no time to entertain that foolishness. You have to understand that there are certain characters in this world that are going to try to get you out of your position. They're going to try to get you out of character, because that's just the way it is. There's always going to be conflict and things like that. A real man is firm in his beliefs. He's firm in his convictions. He doesn't have to succumb to that foolishness. Arguing and bickering as a man is really being in your feminine. That's feminine behavior, very feminine behavior. And you'll notice that a lot of you guys, as you get older, unless you're one of those savvy cats early on as a youngin', the older you get, you just don't have time for it, because you get wisdom and you learn that it's just, a lot of these people are just miserable at the end of the day. They're the source of contention, and that's how they pass their time. That's how they conduct their lives. And people who argue, that if you notice, they really don't have a lot going on, unless you're getting paid for it. Really, unless you're getting paid for it to really argue and stuff like that, it's really not worth it. Men, at the end of the day, we say what we mean, and we mean what we say. We negotiate and we make proposals. That's what we do. We don't sit back and go back and forth over and over. We may negotiate, and if it's not to our terms, we walk off. Strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away, whether that be a deal, whether that be, a deal in a relationship with a woman, or dealing with anybody. If you don't like the terms of the situation, you walk away. And this comes to war. We got this in the 48 Laws of Power, Sun Tzu and all these other things, the art of war. When we talk about things like that, sometimes it is better to just walk away, because the person, sometimes when we're talking to people, you can really see, unless you like that type of stuff, you can really see that this person really isn't playing with a full deck. And when you put yourself in a position where you may have to hurt someone, or you feel like they may, do something crazy to you, it's best to just remove yourself from the situation altogether. It's not about submitting. Same thing with not arguing at the end of the day. It's not about submitting. It's not about being inferior, guys. Walking away in this machismo or machismo, however you want to say it, that a lot of dudes have, it's not about being a coward. A lot of these things can save your life overall. So knowing who you are and the way you carry yourself as a man, men just don't do that. You see men get real upset, real feminine, and just try to, exert their aggression, hype up, and be belligerent and all this stuff like that. You're either going to walk away or you're going to make your move. I put up 3 or 4 things. You're either going to walk away or you're going to make your move. All this back and forth, what are we doing? We're yelling at each other, looking like a bunch of chickens, just bickering back and forth. It's not accomplishing anything. And men are about purpose and direction and accomplishing things. We're not about just being catty and seeing who can make the best diss and all this other foolishness. You'll find that those who like to argue, they tend to be insecure. These people, these guys, women, they're miserable. If they're constantly bringing this up, or trying to bring some type of contentment in a situation when everything may seem like it's going good, then there's something that needs to be addressed. This especially goes for you guys, for your friends. if you're hanging out with your friends and they're always trying to start an argument, or they feel like it's something that always has to be said, or something that they know is going to trigger you, you need to re-examine who it is that you're hanging out with, and is this truly your friends? That's when you need to evaluate your circle to see like what's really like. I'm being solid and I'm not conducting myself the same way that you're conducting yourself. You always have something to say. What's really going on here? And that's when you need to distance yourself from that type of person, or even just have a conversation like, yo, what's going on? And you'll really find, for the most part, it's some sort of insecurity or an issue that they have with you, but they just won't discuss it. And this comes up a lot, but a lot of people just don't it tends to have pride. It tends to be pride that comes into play, which causes people not to communicate at the end of the day. When it's something inside that we could all fix. Everybody has pride, but in terms of something, what inside you, especially a man, that triggers you to want to argue with another man because of jealousy or whatever, or there's a shortcoming in yourself, that's something that needs to be addressed. You know, it is definitely something that needs to be addressed. So some people, no matter what you say, that's what I was talking about. No matter what you say, they have something to say. You guys know people like that? Doesn't matter what you say. You could be talking about the sky is blue and you always hear that same thing, and they'll be like, well, the sky is actually red and all this other stuff. And then they are looking to be disagreeable. Not to say that you have to be right, but these are just be on the lookout for people like that always want to be contrary. There's no need for that. Be solid in your position. Be solid in what it is that you represent. And don't be afraid to walk away or just walk off from some people. Because some people, like I said, aren't playing with a full deck. So when you're dealing with women, sometimes women tend to start arguments if they're not getting enough attention. They will try to get an emotional response out of you. And a lot of you guys fall for it instead of communicating directly to her, like, I don't like the way, and some of you may look at this as feminine talk. And women, I actually spoke to a woman about this one time and told her that I don't like how you're talking to me. You need to talk to me like an adult. We're not children. And she called me, one of the F words, or, a punk or whatever, because I was talking to her like an adult. And you'll have some women who are so dysfunctional, that is their comfort zone, is arguing. They have to start an argument. They have to bring up something, or you did something wrong. The night could be going perfect. That's why if you spend too much time with certain women, it'll end up being an argument. 5 or 6 hours in, she'll find something, because it's just like it's almost in her nature as this dysfunctional woman. Some dudes can go years. Some dudes, you can come across some married dudes, they say they never been in an argument with their old lady. Never had an argument. They just discuss things like adults should do. And sometimes a lot of you guys who are, red pilled, you're indifferent, and that irks a woman who's just used to a man being all over her. So she can't get a response out of you because you're so aloof and you're laid back. She will try to trigger you just to get an emotional response out of you. But if you're holding it down, at the end of the day, there's no drama allowed. There should be no drama allowed in your life. Even if, no matter how old you are, they say when you're young, it doesn't matter what age the woman is. And if you're one of these guys who are dealing with a woman in her 30s and 40s and she's still like this, you need to, how they say in the military, cut, sling, load, or whatever. There's no need for you to have this in your life where you're dealing with someone like that, where you're walking on eggshells and you can't just communicate like adults. You're adults. We're not children. Children don't, teenage girls do, and they get into stuff like that. Dudes, they duke it out, and sometimes, they're cool after that. Sometimes they're not. But as adults, you should be able to sit down hash out the problem, communicate. And a lot of times in our society, we look at it as it's the man's fault. The man doesn't know how to communicate. The man should be the mediator, really. When it's two people, we're both adults. You should know not to disrespect someone or just go off the deep end or just try to look for something. If you're you see these memes where, you're like, it shows a man and a woman on the beach having a great vacation, and she'll just bring something up just to start an argument. So it's not just me, but this happens. It's like happiness just has to be, I don't know. I'm not saying all women are like that, but you have dysfunctional women that that is their comfort zone. And some of you guys may know what I'm talking about. You could do everything right. You could be trying to do everything right to keep things cool, please her or whatever. But something in her mind is like, talk about this right now. Bring this up how he didn't hold the door. He did everything else. He didn't hold the door. He didn't say anything about your lipstick. Something like that. So these are things like that you guys can call minor, but it's only so much that some men will take. Some men will sit up there and put up with this stuff. They just like arguing, having sex, arguing, getting an argument, arguing every day, blah, 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 arguing every week. If you have to go through that with a woman, in my opinion, you just don't need to be with that woman. That arguing stuff is for the birds. Let her take that. Let that be the next man's problem at the end of the day. Trust me, it's a peace of mind is priceless. Peace and quiet is priceless. And a woman, at the end of the day, this is what men talk about when they say a woman being your peace. I don't understand if there's some stuff going on in the home or in the relationship, or especially if you're in the home and he's not providing or he's not doing certain things, But some people say if a woman doesn't argue with you, that's when you need to be worried. That means that some other dude is, taking care of her. You know what I'm saying? And if she's not arguing with you and she's silent, then this other man is taking care of those emotional needs instead of her trying to get this emotional trigger from you at the end of the day. But it's all about communication. You never argue, never let a woman get you out of character. Even if she tries to emasculate you in any way or berate you, you need to go ahead and get rid of her. You're not a child. And even children shouldn't, and I hate to use that term, but even children shouldn't even be talked to in these ways or yelled at or going through this whole argument process. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. It's insecurity. A woman that constantly wants to argue is an insecure woman, especially over trivial stuff. And I know you probably say, well, trivial is subjective, which it is. But I mean, I think that, in my opinion, in my experience, that sometimes it has to be something to argue about. No matter what it is, I have to find something. And I've been in a relationship with a woman like that, where it has to, no matter what, there's those days I have to come up with something. And a woman like this, like I said, she's insecure and she just may need constant reassurance. A woman that needs that constant reassurance, you can't reassure her for the rest of your life, if you know what I mean. That's something that she needs to work on as well, and understand that you are two different people. A woman that constantly needs validation and for you to reassure her on certain things, there's something going on. And if communication doesn't fix that, then once again, that's disrupting your peace, that's disturbing your peace. So with that being said, don't argue, say your piece, be about that action. Don't be about that back and forth with anybody. Real men negotiate. Real men say what's on their mind, they stick by their convictions, and that's that. If you don't know something about something, don't try to argue like you do. It's not about bow. You have to bow out. That's not about submitting, which technically it is, but it's not about from an inferior or being an inferiority standpoint. That's not what it is. Be solid in your beliefs. You negotiate, and that's that. Keep it moving. So with that being said, I hope this video wasn't too long-winded. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time checking out my channel, like I said, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're still sticking around, along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos. And let me know your thoughts on this as far as arguing and whatnot. I'm stepping back from the camera so you guys can see my vest or whatever, you know, try to get clean today. So let me know you guys' thoughts on this, you know, how you feel about the whole arguing segment. Let me know if you had experience with this. Always, if you've been in a relationship with a woman, you've argued with her. So let me know your thoughts on that, guys, as well. And, you know, hit me up if you got any questions. If you got any topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to leave them in the comments or email them to me. If you want to book a one-on-one with yours truly, make sure you hit me up. The links are in the description. Make sure you guys check out my new book, The Law of Attraction for the Pessimistic Mind. It's a great book. It helps you manage your emotions and manifest what it is that you want in this life. And make sure you guys check out the videos related to this topic. Hope you find something you like. And with that being said, peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And I will see you guys on the next one. I am out of here. Peace.